Well, believe me, Jazz on My Mind viewers and listeners will get a sample. We will find a way to incorporate your music and let them know that that is Marlo. So you're working on your new album. Anything else is going on for you?
One of the new things that I've been doing for over a year, is I underscore audiobooks.
Okay.
And my first and largest project to date is underscoring The Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay.
Now, the film only dealt with his living in San Francisco.
And as our viewers remember, that was a movie that Will Smith starred in.
Right. And his son.
Right.
But the book is his entire life up until he met Nelson Mandela.
That's his gentleman that wrote it. What's that
His name is Chris Gardner.
Right. Okay.
So that's really interesting. It's like scoring film without the visuals. And I really enjoy that. Because if you can listen to what somebody's spoken and capture that in music and support the mood, that's like way cool.
Don't you have a background though in scoring film already?
I have a little background in scoring film. I worked for a company in Sweden called Electra Films for about 8-9 years in the 80s. I've always wanted to. And I've always been a composer at heart. And I got an opportunity to do a few things for a guy who I just met in Hollywood when they asked him directions from Sweden. And we got to talking, and one thing led to another. Next thing I knew I was doing 4 or 5 films a year.
That's very
just that company. And then it spread to the companies in Europe. So I got a lot of experience outside the United States, as usual.
That's where you usually have to go to obtain that experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Now I want to talk about another song on your Reflections CD, and that's the Ode to Oprah.
Okay, that's a funny song. That song is not. It'll probably never be publicized. It was a commission from Chris Gardner. He wanted to have something just to show Oprah how much he cared about her,
So what is the dialect that they're singing?
It's Zulu.
So Jazz on My Mind, once again, if you go to Marlo's website, his MySpace page, you'll be able to sample every song that we're talking about. And I encourage each and every one of you to check it out, because that Ode to Oprah is a beautiful song.
Yeah, I really like that song.
Where did you get the people to sing that, the Zulu dialect?
Well, how the story goes, Chris wanted some music just to show his appreciation of Oprah. And because she has a school in South Africa, okay, that all ties in together. So we put the music together, wrote the lyrics. He listened to it, in English. He says, "That's great. Can you guys do that in Zulu?"
Spring that one on me, okay?
So finally, I got Babu on the line, the guy that heads the Pan-African Film Festival.
Yes.
Babu, can you help me? He says, "Yeah, sure. These people live out in Banning,
California.
A few
miles from here.
There's a whole community of people who speak Zulu.
Isn't that incredible?
Not only speak, but sing.
It was all quiet.
Yeah, they have a church and they have sing. What do you like? If you need 50 people in the choir, we have that.
My God.
And before then, we went to the University of Pennsylvania. There was a lady there that does it formally, but she translated it, but it's still classic, and we still didn't have anybody to sing it. So, Babu helped us out on that.
It is
great story.
It's a beautiful song.
Yes.
I mean, has Oprah had a chance to hear it?
She heard it, as far as I know, and she liked it, and that was the intro into my doing his audiobook. I'm just going his audiobook. So just one step, one thing leads to another.
There you go. Now, do you do any live performances?
I do from time to time. I have a band, a blues band called M5 Blues.
Okay.
We work from time to time, and then there's another band. It's jazz. I call it a utility band. It's called House Fire, because we play all different genres of music.
That's why I figured you got that time.
Yeah. So House Fire, and we work around a bit. That band, we're doing corporate occasions, events, political events. The blues band is we just work around. So right now, we're not doing a lot, and I'm really concentrating on taking that band to China next year. There's a couple of festivals that we'll be in next year. One in Singapore and one in Oh, I can't think of the name. Anytime.
Okay.
Now, if someone wanted to contact you, what's the best way for someone to contact you?
Well, there's my office number, which is 530-377-5543.
Can you give it one more time for us, Mark?
530-377-5543.
Okay.
Email me at marlom5@yahoo. And that'll do it.
That'll do it, sir.
Or you can just Google Marlo Henderson, and I can be found. You know,
You're there.
Google knows where I am.
Now, Sarah, you and your beautiful voice, if someone wanted to contact you to do some singing for them, is there a phone number where you can be reached?
They can contact you.
So just contact Jazz on My Mind, and I'll be glad to filter those calls to
Absolutely.
you. Because I'm sure someone heard this beautiful lady singing at the opening of this show and said, hey, I'd like to hear her sing some more. So that would be great. So once again, if you want to contact Sara Baldwin, feel free to contact me, Richard Blackwell, at Jazz on My Mind, and I'll make sure that Sarah gets the message.
Right, and you get your 20%.
Is it 20 now?
I'm glad you showed up today. All right. Well, thank you very much. Marlo, this has been an extreme pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
And at MySpace, they can get you at Marlo Henderson on MySpace. Is that correct?
Right, yeah, you can actually just type in Marlo Henderson and it'll take you.
Right to the
there.
MySpace page. Okay. And that's great because I'm telling you, this has been an extreme pleasure for me to meet you today because Sarah has talked about you, and when I saw it and heard your music, and I'm like, this musician is incredible. I've got to make him a part of Jazz on My Mind.
That's great. Thank you, girl.
And Sarah Baldwin. And Sara Baldwin, do you have a little song that you can sing a little bit with before we leave out of here?
Into them their eyes, 'cause you got the cutest little sweet way of working with them their eyes. They make me feel happy, they make me blue. No stalling and falling.
Sounding better than ever, isn't she? Ladies and gentlemen, well,
Little brown eyes, they crumble.
ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for watching Jazz on My Mind.